So if we can connect with that place within us where all is well. Whatever is appearing, is disappearing, the song of birds, the doorbell, the breathing, images on the screen, the screen of awareness. Which is always there. Completely free from a story about myself, my family, my past, my future. Freedom from separation, from the sense of limitation. Freedom from worry, concern. Our true self, our reality. Not something that we have to work hard in order to attain, but that which we are, the reality of our being, which is the reality of all being, of beingness. There may be some past stories and past events, but they don't leave any trace within awareness, which is completely free from any traces, from any imprints. Every moment, a moment of fresh presence, the freshness of being. This freshness of being has no age. It's not getting older or younger. The waves on the surface of the ocean are the play of the ocean. And the currents within the ocean are the play of the ocean. There is nothing at stake, nothing happening, neither to the current, nor to the wave, nor to the ocean. nothing at all, nothing at stake. Maybe in the past you were a wave that was seeking to become a better wave. But upon your understanding that you are not a wave, that you are the ocean, this activity of improvement, betterment of the wave comes to an end in your recognition of yourself as this borderless, impersonal, eternal, aware presence. The ocean does not depend on the shape or size of the waves or on the particular wave or particular waviness of the ocean. It doesn't depend on that. Actually, the ocean doesn't depend on anything. Similarly, the happiness that you are, which is the complete fulfillment, the fulfillment that is inherent to the one reality, the reality of awareness, which is not lacking. That happiness that you are, as presence, as awareness, as consciousness, is not dependent on any particular situation of the body or the world. It's not dependent on your feelings or your mother's feelings or your neighbor's feelings or it's not dependent on the political situation or on the climate situation in the world. The happiness is complete unto itself. Whenever you make yourself conditional upon anything outside of consciousness, you've entered the illusion of separation. And you are gripped by the impressions of pleasure and pain. As you pursue pleasure, is painful. You separate yourself, divide yourself as a son, a daughter, a father, a mother. Limit yourself to the bubble of isolation and separation. Your happiness becomes dependent on others, on circumstances, on situations, which is not happy. You have within yourself the capacity to comprehend, and this comprehension frees you as you accept it, embrace it, and live it. To have the strength and the courage, the fortitude to live as presence, as awareness, impersonal, formless, the reality of being which we all know as I. Although our experience is that of transparent presence, transparency of being, of awareness, we still adopt the model of physicality, materiality. We imagine a density. We imagine as objectivity. We objectify awareness, presence as a body. With certain delineation, certain size and shape. We make a drawing and we fill this image with matter. We concretize ourselves, objectify ourselves. While all along we are this transparent awareness. This objectification, this precipitation precipitates a particular body, mind, and others, other physical entities, and immaterial world to which we attribute independent reality. We have the table of the elements, and we have a concrete model of a world, a material world, which we imagine and feel to have its own reality outside of the reality of consciousness. We imagine that we are this material model, this material form. That is peeking through some peephole. We imagine that materialism, that materiality can perceive, can feel, can know. We overlook our higher reasoning. And we follow the bell. Like the sheep on the boat. The sheep with the bell jumps in the water and we follow the bell. And we hope that God will save us. We imagine a Savior. And we imagine someone that needs to be saved. And so we overlook the divine light that's shining as the I am. We give significance to that which is insignificant. We give significance to the senses, to feelings and thoughts and sensations, and we make insignificant the light of awareness. And we hope that somehow, at some time, the stars will line up. That God's hands will reach from heaven and save us. This imaginary human entity which we have replaced God's light with. Nobody imposes upon us the sense of separation. We love our parents at the expense of our love for truth. We love our partner and our children at the expense of our love for truth. We're in love with form. We're in love with sensations and the illusory. We are in love with our dreams. And we're not willing to offer them to God. But we are available for God to offer Himself and herself to us. We want God to enter into our dream and be part of our dream, rather than surrendering all our dreams to God's truth. Why do you carry the past with you? What for? Is it your identity? Something you cherish? What is it that we defend, we protect? What is it we are so worried about and concerned about? What is it we safeguard? In presence, in being, in truth, in reality. Do we need to safeguard anything? Should we not and could we not live as God's light, the light of being, that holds on to nothing, is not holding on to anything, it's not safeguarding anything, just absorbed and enamored and lost in God's love? so if there are any questions, please make sure you unmute yourself. And also you're welcome to turn on your video so we can see each other if you care.
Hi, Magdi.
Hello, Holly.
Hi.
Hey.
I was listening to a radio program recently, and the topic of the radio program was lying, and people who lie more and people who lie less. And the researchers had a hypothesis that when they looked at the brain of people who lied more, that they might find their brain to be deficient in some way, that their brain might be lacking something in order to be lying like that. And what they actually found when they put people in scanners was that people who lied more had actually a lot more brain activity going on. They had to put apparently a lot more effort into making up their stories and keeping their stories straight. And that made me think about the fact that, we're all, or basically all of us are to some extent living the lie of a personal self. And I assume that that takes some effort. So I wondered if you could talk about the effort of being a personal self versus the effortlessness of being consciousness and being our true selves.
Yes. The body, mind, and also the world. Sort of is an interactive model. It's thoughts. And you can perceive the correlation of thoughts in the world. Thoughts, technological thoughts, or creative thoughts, or personal thoughts. You can see their impact on the world. So it's an interaction, let's say, between thought and the world. The brain, there is a correlation between the brain's activity functioning, and thoughts, beliefs, and the world. It's like a sort of like in our body, one could say like there are all these different organs in our body, but they're all interactive. The heart, the lungs, the brain, the stomach, they're all interacting. So the belief in separation, meaning the belief that I am the body-mind, that I am a person, a mother, a father, a son, a daughter, whatever. This belief has there is a correlation. You can perceive that thought, that belief in the world. You can perceive it in the brain. You can perceive it in the body. In the most obvious way, you see the sense of separation in the world in terms of the destruction and the disarray and the disregard, the disharmonious way in which the world is treated, our rivers, our oceans, the earth, our plants, what the food we eat, toxic, the air being poisoned and polluted. You also perceive the sense of separation in the body. The body is contracted, tight, calcified, rigid, protecting itself unnecessarily. Of course, it's necessary. There are necessary situations to protect yourself, but so you could see within the body the impact of the sense of separation. You can see it when you turn your attention to the contractions, the resistances, the tightness within your body. The more you look within your body, the more you find the sense of limitation. How you hold your jaw, your eyes, sometimes your breath, your hands, and so many obvious and not so obvious contractions within the body. And also, if you look within the mind, you find how the sense of separation, the belief that I'm a woman or a man, how it's haunting our thoughts and our images that appear to us, worries and concerns and depressions and unhappiness within the mind. So the sense of separation is in the entire realm of our experience, which leaves no stone unturned. Our entire experience has the impact of that infection, of that viral misunderstanding about consciousness. And the me belief, the belief that I am somebody, images that I have about myself and my family, things I must do, how I should be, how I should prove myself to others. Sooner or later we realize that nobody's imposing that on us. We start to see in this process of perceiving myself and believing myself to be a mortal body mind. I start to see that belief. I see that in fact there is really no logical basis for that. And upon this insight, there is available to us the understanding that I don't need to continue in that direction. Of course, the mind will play the game of, oh my God, I cannot do it. Or I've tried, but it doesn't work. There will be all sorts of trickery. And, imaginary obstacles that will be presented to you that are available to you to say yes or no to. When you say yes to the thought that, oh, yeah, I cannot do anything about it, or any such negative thoughts, then that's the model that you will adopt, and that's a model that will operate. And when you say, yes, of course, there is no other chooser but I here. There is no other power but I, which is God's power within me. It's a totally different direction. All sorts of possibilities become available to you. So as presence, as consciousness, there is no one that you are defending. There isn't somebody that you have a concern about, that you're worried about or trying to defend or protect. You are at peace. And when you are at peace, the peace may take some time to populate your entire being, your entire body, your mind, and your world. But it's bound to move in that direction, in the direction of the peace permeating your entire experience. So that your mind is no longer divided. You don't need to lie to protect anything or anybody. What for? You realize that you are the one reality. Why would you lie to yourself? What for? And you cannot lie to yourself anyways, because you would be the liar and you would be the one lied to. You have an inside information about the lie. And it takes a little bit more or different direction of your attention towards the contractions within the body to liberate the body from the lies that have embedded themselves within your body. The major lie within the body is that the body is a physical reality, has a physical reality, which flies in the face of truth, which is that the body is universal, it's God's body. There is no personal body. The personal body is a wrong model. It's a model that overlooks God's body, overlooks God's truth. So the biggest lie within the body is that I am a physical form, but I is not a physical form. God has never been physical, has never taken any form. It's a formless self. And as you realize that there is no physical realm that exists as an independent body, and your body sort of becomes vaster and becomes a body of the universe. So your body and the universe merge as one could say the universal body. And this universal body, whatever arises in it, is just like a currents within the ocean. The currents don't disturb the ocean. So what seemed to previously be in your body, some unhappiness and some things of worry and concern, places you wanted to protect, or all of that releases itself in the universe. So that one way of saying it is that God will take care of matters. God takes care of that which it creates. So what concerns used to exist within your body are surrendered effortlessly to God. And the world, which is perceived as separate from the self, separate from my reality, is understood to be one could say an aspect of myself. The world is, in our non-dual interest, in our interest in non-duality, is a topic of contemplation. What is the world? What am I in relation to the world? The vast world. And you can see in the world how ignorance plays itself and how wisdom plays itself. People getting together and creating welfare for all, and people getting together and creating welfare for themselves only. You see it. Which are all aspects of yourself. The aspect of yourself that recognizes itself as the all, and the aspect of yourself that feels and believes itself to be a separate self. And as you are contemplating truth, you also live courageously. You trust the path, the higher path, which is based on the principles of the divine truth, the wholeness, the oneness, principles of kindness, fairness, generosity, compassion, fearlessness. Fearlessness is very important. Very important. And living, honoring these principles, the divine principles, fortifies your path and makes you stronger in your journey out of the ignorance, out of the misery, into the light of being. You have to trust God, trust truth. That's, I think, what sometimes in some religious circles they mention the term belief. It is to trust and believe that it is possible. But at the same time, to understand that you, that which hears these words, is this light, is this eternity, the eternal presence of consciousness. You are that. That is the real I, is that. The reality that perceives, that is.
Thank you, Magdi.
Be holy. Any questions?
Hi, Maggie. It's Esther.
Hello, Esther.
As you were speaking just now about the materiality, apparent materiality of the world and our bodies, I became aware that there's an incredible, it's so blatant, the beauty of this whole thing, the out picturing and the apparent materiality, the beauty never fails, the intricacy of it all and how it all functions. It's ironic, but that beauty always points me to the formless. It's like it's undeniable. There's no explanation. The beauty just is so blatantly points to the source. And I just wanted to share that because it's an important aspect, I think, of looking at all of this.
Yes.
Yeah, thank you.
Yes, thank you for mentioning that, Esther. Yes.
Maggie, I have a question.
Yes.
It's Frank.
Hello, Frank.
Hi, Maggie. Good to see you.
Good to see you.
I was thinking about the idea of love and how we, at Body Minds, I have a lot of love for certain people. What am I loving if we're not really separate beings? What am I loving? An illusion?
Yes, because an illusion can only love an illusion. Actually, an illusion cannot love, but in the relative lingo, only love as real love can only come from the real, yes, and it can only love that which is real, something real. So the relationship between the lover, love, and that which is loved is the lover has to be real, the love has to be real, and that which is loved has to be real. So when you look at reality, you find that there's only one reality, which you can call anything. You can call it love, you can call it consciousness, you can call it God, you can call it presence, you can call it Brahman, which is whatever it is that perceives, that is, that knows that it is. That same isness, that same presence, that same awareness, that same love across the board, that doesn't come and go, is one reality. So once we understand that there is one reality, and this reality of love, consciousness, presence, God, then when we speak about love, if we are interested in having a conversation about reality and not about non-reality, so then love and reality are one. So if love and reality are one, and there's one reality, then there isn't a subject and an object in that one reality. Or if there is a subject and an object, they're just like two waves within the ocean. They're part of that one reality. So from that perspective, with that understanding, And of course, if that is lived, then you are talking about, yes, right on. But with that, from that understanding, we say all is love, or love is all, or there's one reality, or only love is, or only truth is. So coming back, regressing from your question about when I love somebody, am I loving an illusion? In the world, in this relationship we're having now, which is a relationship of mind, world, body, mind, there is this conversation. There is a body, mind, Magdi, body, mind, Frank. And body, mind, Magdi can say, well, yes, I love Frank because ... or when he will ... or if he does ... or if he does not ... whatever. Usually, in the dream, when we do not have the comprehension that all is love, then I love you if and when, and I love him or her if and when, etc. And you love me, he loves me if and when. So it's a conditional love, or what we call conditional love. Conditional love is not love. It's the illusion of love. It's a bastardized, bastard love. It's a love that is that is not real, true love. So in our relationship, in the dream, in the world, in the body, in the mind, if we don't have the understanding, a higher understanding, then we are living from different levels of understanding. So most common in the 7 billion of us, we live from the human understanding. The human understanding is I am Magdi and you are Frank. God's understanding is we are one presence, one consciousness, one reality. So from the human understanding, love is a trade. Love is give and take. And also, I would like to share that also God's love is present. Meaning, initially I may love you, but I don't know why. I just love you. And when I don't know why, it's a good love. But soon after, the conditions, somehow, because of the judgments will start to come. Oh, gee, he said you called me at 3, you called me at 3:15, whatever. The conditions will start to come. And then what was initially very beautiful becomes unhappy. One could say that, yes, there is the illusion of separate forms, separate selves. But even in the realm of the illusion, love is present. It is present as presence. It is present as that love which we experience, but we don't know why or how or when or what for. We often experience this sort of love more with animals than with humans. Maybe because the animals they don't have the conditions. You can they're not going to tell you, well, they're easier. So yes, it's not because we experience love in our life, and in spite of most of what we experience in our life being just coming and going, changing, the body, the mind, everything changing, the love that we experience, that which before the conditions come in, that doesn't change. That's there. That is always available, but it is veiled by my feelings and my thoughts and my ideas about you and my stories about myself and my stories about you and about, I don't know, your friends, about, well, God knows what.
Is there a love that we humans feel that's closer to real love, like you were talking about romantic love, and then there's familial love. I think even the Greeks they have different names for different types of love. Like familial love, like I'm thinking of like the love I have for my mom, who's elderly now, and I see that she's she's getting older and older, and I know that one day she's not going to be here, and that's creating a lot of sadness in me. And I want to hang on to her, because I've got this love for her and all this and that. It seems very unconditional at this point, because I know that there's nothing there there's nothing that she can say or do to me that wouldn't take away that love.
Right.
So that's to the real love of consciousness, of awareness, and that only lasts so long.
Absolutely, yeah. Our love, parents' love for their children, children's love for their parents is not conditional. I mean, it can be unconditional. It can have that aspect of it's just you don't know. It's just how it is. They're there and you love them. And yeah, we also feel some sorrow, that when they pass, when we're no longer sharing with them, the love, which is okay. I mean, that's part of the sweetness of the love. Is like when you have a pet and you lose your pet, or a friend, you have
What about that loss? We really don't lose anything. Conscious awareness does not lose anything, right? So
yeah, but no, of course, yes, absolutely, yes, you're right. No, I'm just talking in the experiences that we share. Like I could call you, we can have dinner together, go for a walk, go for a bike ride, whatever, that there is a joy in that, and is the love that we shared. So there is a sweet memory of that. Yes, but yes, you're right. As consciousness, nothing is gained or lost, but there is also the reflection of God's love in our mind, within our mind. And so when I miss you, that's a sweet reflection. It's not there is no suffering in that sense of sweet sadness. It's not suffering. It's like a recollection of the love that we shared.
So I guess the reason I'm asking all this is because I'm trying to find a way to feel peace around the idea of loss, and because I know bodies, we look at our bodies, we think they're so we identify with the body. So I'm looking at
Yeah.
a certain person. I'm going, this is the body. I love this body. I don't want this body to go. I'm trying to find a way of feeling
Yeah.
peace around the body's not going to be here someday.
Yes, it's very, very good, Frank. It's a very good thing to look at. That what we love in each other is not the body or the experience. What we love in each other is the love. We somehow share the love. When we are in a loving relationship, we are both sharing the love. We're not sharing anything else. It's the love that we're sharing. So when we come together and we have dinner and so on, and we say, oh, we're sharing the food and so on. No, we're not sharing the food. You're eating. I'm not tasting what you're tasting. You're not tasting what I'm tasting. I'm not seeing what you're seeing. You're not seeing what I'm seeing. You're not feeling what I'm feeling. I'm not feeling what you're feeling, but we're sharing the love. So it's very interesting to be looking at that because, in relationship, when we can bring that understanding and that contemplation in our relationship, that what we're really sharing is completely formless, completely immaterial. And it's not that it is the material experience that is bringing it. That's a very important point. In other words, it's not because I am with this person that I'm feeling the love. No, it is the love that manifested that person. It's a very, very important point to understand.
I understand that we just say the love is manifesting that person.
I lost your video. Yes, it is the love that manifests the relationship. It is not the relationship that manifests the love. In other words, it is the love that blooms in the relationship, that blooms the relationship. So when we are looking for somebody as a form that we are going to love, it's more we're looking for something we're going to like, something that that's going to fit our pieces of the puzzle. It's a different thing from love. In love, as love, it is a formless, and the form that you experience as love is the manifestation of the formless. The formless is not manifested from the form. It is the love isn't arising from the form, from this particular relationship or a particular situation. It's the other way around. It is out of the formless that the form manifests as an expression of the form, of the formless. So in loving somebody, you are not loving the body, their body, or their mind. You may be interested, you may enjoy their mind. They may have a very creative mind, they may be a great storyteller, they may be a great poet, what you may enjoy their mind. But the joy that you are experiencing, which is relate in relation to their mind, is different from the love. Maybe not so different. I need to take a look at that. There could be even more to talk about that, right? I need to take a look at that a little bit more. But in terms of the love, the relationship sprouts out of the love. And when the love is personal, then what manifests is a person to person. I am loving myself, my personal self, which is not really love, but let's use this term. So I'm loving my feelings, my ideas, my hopes, and so that's what will manifest for you. It will manifest for you somebody that will be sort of more or less of a match for your conditions. But they will have their own conditions too, you see. But when you are just loving love, no matter what form it takes, including no form, then it's a different situation. And if a form arises from that, then that form is in fact formless. That which you are loving in this form is formless. And so, of course, there is no attachment. There are no conditions. There is an enjoyment, a celebration, but there are no conditions. Because that love is a divine love. You are loving truth, you are loving God, which is the only love, the only true love, and not yourself, not the human form, but the formless reality, which one word for that formless reality is love. And you realize that you are that and all is that. And that there is only that, and that does not die, does not come and go, is not gained or lost. So love is immaterial. And when immaterial love takes on the form of love in the world, it does not lose its immateriality. It does not lose its essence. It does not lose its perfume. It does not lose it does not become objectified. It does not become limited. It remains. And of course, in our life, we are there is love, and there is also the sense that I need to protect myself and take care of myself and make sure that whichever way I define myself, that's also protected, that's also So there are these two forces, these two realms that we're experiencing. We're experiencing the love, which is no doors or windows, no gates. And we're experiencing, time, me in time. And the reconciliation of these two is in that one is happy and the other is unhappy. That which is unhappy, it leads to more and more unhappiness, complications. And that which is happy, if you trust it, oh, you are, it delivers. So that's sort of part of our journey, part of our journey to come to a lived comprehension of love, love living itself through us and through everything. And everyone, if it's living itself through us, then it's living itself through everyone and everything. And of course, then there are things we like and things we don't like, which is okay. That's a different conversation. And we have to also honor what we like and what we don't like, but with the understanding that that refers to the realm of manifestation, and that from the perspective of love, like and dislike are at a different level. They operate, and we need to honor them and respect them, but they do not refer to love. So in love, we are honoring the freedom of everyone, not just my freedom. So in love is more, there is an absolute aspect where it doesn't belong to anybody. It is universal. And what comes with it are the universal principles of peace, of freedom, of happiness, of joy. So often when we say we're in love, but yet we are not honoring the other person's freedom. We want the other person to sort of change a little bit, to be like we like them better, And it's a contradiction in a way with the universal principle of love. So
All right. Thank you, Magdi. Good one.
okay. Yes.
Yeah, I've got more questions, but I'll wait.
Yeah, this very, very, it's very, very good questions to be looking at, Frank.
Yeah, thanks. I'll ask you more in the future. I'll
Yeah,
let somebody else ask questions today.
Okay. Thanks, Frank. Okay. So any questions? Oh, Kelly. Hello, Kelly. I just saw you wrote something.
Hi, Matt. Hi there.
Hello, Kelly. So you write to the other day, you and George or Amna were agreeing that there's only one reality. Can you talk about how we know that there is one reality rather than many realities? So first I will propose that we have an inner intuition that there is one reality. I know this is not your question, but I feel it's important to say that. We have an inner intuition that there is one reality, one I, one self, one truth.
I would agree with that.
Yes. So that's more, I think that goes more to the heart of it. In terms of your question, if let's say that there is more than one reality, let's say there are two realities, reality A and reality B. If there is reality A and reality B, for example, well, let's just stay with that in the abstract. If there is reality and reality B, what would know that there are two realities? Right? Something needs to know that there are two realities. Otherwise, we would not even be talking about two realities. So if there are two realities and we're talking about two realities, and in fact, there are two realities, then something knows, whatever it is that knows there are these two realities, must be a reality that knows both of them. So these two realities.
Why would they?
I'm sorry? Why would they?
Why would who knows that there are two realities have to know both realities?
Well, if you don't know both realities, if X does not know both realities, then we are talking that there are two realities in a completely abstract way. So and then we can talk about anything. Let's talk about unicorns. I mean, purple unicorns with yellow stripes and pink dots, on their belly, and green dots on their back. Why couldn't there be yellow unicorns with pink dots on their bellies and green dots on their back? So either we are talking about, yes, there are two realities, or we're just talking to talk. If we're talking to talk, then I'll invite you over to listen to some music together, because it's nice. I like listening to some music. Listen to music. Oh, we sit and look
my
at
question.
So
my question in part
if there are two realities, then there must be, we're talking about, they are real, and something, if there is something real, something knows it. If it's real, if there are these classes, there can only be these classes because there is a reality that perceives them. So I will not say, no, there are no glasses, or I will not say there are glasses without having ever experienced any glasses, because then we'll be talking about unicorns. Anyways, I interrupted you. You were going to say something?
I don't need to say it.
Okay. So you have to go along that if there are two realities, there is something that knows them. Otherwise, we are talking just to talk. Can you go along with that, or?
Yeah, like, well, that makes sense what you're saying, that there's no point in talking if there are many different realities. There's nothing to talk about.
No. There is no point in talking if we are talking about unicorns.
Right.
Okay? So
Uh-huh.
there is a unicorn, there is something that knows a unicorn. The unicorn herder, or whatever, that, there must be a reality that something that perceives, knows a unicorn in one way or the other. And there is a unicorn. In fact, there are unicorns as in our imagination. So there is a thought about unicorns, an image of it. Let me not go there. Let's go back to, if there is more than one reality, there is something that knows these realities. It knows there are two. If you have two children, you know you have two children. There is something that knows that you have two children. Something, you or me or your sister or your mother knows that you have two children. Anyways, you can look at that more on your own. But if there are two realities, there is something that knows these two realities. And that something that knows these two realities must be real, is the one reality. So the principle of multiple realities cannot stand on its own based on that reasoning. Also, if there are two realities, then there are two separate realities that are completely non-interactive. You cannot have two separate realities that are interacting. There are two separate realities that are completely non-interacting. So they could not interact, not just with each other, which we agree on, but they could not interact with they could not be perceived because they are separate realities. The separate reality cannot be known. So we are talking about Santa Claus, which cannot be known. So the principle of two realities does not stand. The other thing is, we know, that's very important, by the way, Kelly. It's very important for you to comprehend that it's not possible for two separate realities to exist. There can be, and there are within the ocean different currents. But these two different currents, or the multiple different currents, they are made out of water. They refer to the reality of the ocean, the reality of water. In your experience, there is one reality, which you know as consciousness, as awareness, as I.
Yes.
And that one reality is that one reality to which the reality of the world belongs, the reality of the mind belongs, the reality of the body belongs. Because that one reality, the reality of consciousness, perceives the world, perceives thoughts, and perceives the bodily sensations. Although the the body and the world and the mind, they have their own particular interactions, certain set of interactions, certain ways in which they interact. Their reality, the reality of their interaction and the reality of their existence is the one reality, the reality that knows them, that perceives them, the reality of consciousness. Now, when we say there is only one reality, this does not mean that there is only one world or one universe or one mind. There may be infinite universes, infinite worlds, infinite minds besides a human mind. But one reality, the reality of consciousness. And the reality of consciousness is not a human reality.
Right.
It's a consciousness reality. It's a formless reality. It doesn't belong to a particular body or a particular mind. It's actually the other way around. The body and the mind belongs to consciousness, belongs to awareness. Belongs meaning that its reality, the reality of thoughts and perception and sensation is consciousness. It's not the other way around. In other words, the reality of consciousness is not the reality of the world, body, mind. It's the other way around. Consciousness as its own reality stands on its own. But the world, body, mind does not stand on its own.
Nor do the worlds or universes. The world or the universe doesn't stand on its own either.
Right.
Okay.
The worlds and the universes, the minds, the bodies, they don't stand on their own. They refer to the reality of consciousness. So, I mean, the metaphor of the night dream is very applicable. You know, that all the content of your night dream, whatever forms you perceive and thoughts and experiences, and they refer to the reality of consciousness, the reality of the dreamer, not the reality of a personal mind, but the reality of the dreamer, of consciousness. But again, you know, the most appropriate response to your question is that your inner intuition that there is one reality. The reasoning is just at the mind level. You can comprehend that it's not possible for two to exist without the one, without the zero.
my question comes from wanting certainty, because right now in the United States, it doesn't seem like there's one reality.
Well, you are confusing
Content.
reality with, you're confusing the screen with the movie.
Yes.
The movie, there are many people, many activities, many things. There is love and hate. There are droughts and there is abundance. There are fires and there are volcanic eruptions, and there is love and war, love and peace. And peace and war, whatever. There is, everything is on the screen. You're confusing dimensions. In the relative dimension, in the dimension of the body, there is a good day and a bad day. Is a healthy body and then unhealthy body and healthy again. Who knows? In the world, there is war and peace, and then war and peace and war and peace and war and peace and war and peace.
And unicorns.
So that's, at that level. So if you look at the world, body, mind, to find the one, you are looking in the wrong level. At the level of the multiplicity of thoughts and sensations and perceptions, you will find the multiplicity. But you will find the one not at the level of the world, body, mind. You have to go to the level of reality. Now, when you say in the world, body, mind, it doesn't seem that there is one reality, you are assuming that at the world, body, mind, there has to be this uniformity, this uniformity. But when you go in the world, body, mind, you only the uniformity that you find is when you go to the world, body, mind, the uniformity that you will find, you will not find it in the form, because the form is constantly changing. Events are constantly changing, your body is constantly changing, the mind is constantly changing. The uniformity that you will find is the uniformity of presence, of awareness.
Thank you.
But
I see that.
if you equate presence or awareness with the changing world, the changing body, the changing mind, you will find, oh my goodness, presence is changing. But you will only find that presence is changing when you equate presence or consciousness, when you equate it to events. When you adopt the model that consciousness is the result of events, then the only way you will find the unchanging consciousness is when events stay unchanging. But events are changing all the time. They're changing all the time. We come back in 20 years, who only knows what it will be. We have no idea. We don't need to go that far. 2 weeks from now, even every minute, events are changing all the time. So you are mixing levels. You are looking in the wrong basket.
I see that now.
Yes.
Really clearly.
Yes. Yes. So for that which does not change, we have to go to the source. Downstream is downstream. At the source, it's I awareness, I presence, I consciousness. And that is not female or a male or mother or father or daughter or son. The body is, yes, the body. Could be a son, could be a daughter, I don't know. You see? But I, as a different level. When we say I is the body, then we are confusing dimensions. We are taking the dimension of the changeless, the unborn, and we are taking it in the elevator down to, we are taking it to the level of experience. This is when we are mixing being with existence. Now, existence is a manifestation of being. A manifestation of being is infinite, changing an infinite play of names and form, namarupa. But being is the source of existence. It's not a derivative of existence. If you're looking for being, you will not find it in existence. Only if you contemplate the source of existence, you will find being. So you have to sort of look from existence to the reality of existence. The reality of existence is being.
Thank you.
Okay, Kelly. Any questions?
Hi, Magdi.
Hello, Amna.
Okay, so I don't know what love is.
You cannot know that which you are. You can only step out of your knowingness, of knowledge, which is a download. Knowledge is downstream. You have to step out of knowledge. To be. Love, you already are. You are love. So it's not to be that which you were not. It's more of a recognition. So we all know love, but we don't know what it is. So to know love without knowing what it is good, because if you know what it is, it's a little bit mental. But you know love. You know love as your experience, your direct experience. You don't need to know what it is. Why do you need to know what it is?
Well, the question came out of because I want to know if my experience of love is love or it's something else.
Well, love is unconditional. So in love, there is no attachment. There is no subject and object in love. There isn't. What am I getting? What can I lose? What do I need to hold on? How can I keep it?
So then, because my experience of love is often there is attachment and there are conditions, and
that's you're describing attachment and conditions. You are not speaking about love. You said your experience of love, there are attachments. No, I'm sorry, maybe I'm misunderstanding you. Are you talking about love or about attachment?
well, that's why I'm asking about love, because I don't know if...
No, attachment is, there is a sense of lack. Something that I feel that I need to hold on to because it must be something of value or something important. So it makes sense when I hold on to my car, let's say, because it's important for me when I want to drive to go somewhere. The car is there, you see. So I park it in the garage. So there is a practical attachment, an attachment that has its logical place in our life. And there is an irrational attachment where we are attaching ourselves to something where we feel that our happiness depends on it. My happiness isn't dependent on the car, but if I want to go to the store, I like to have the car, to drive to the store. But it's not about my happiness, it's functional. It makes sense for me to have an attachment to my car. But it has nothing to do with my happiness, you see. It doesn't have to do anything with the sense of lack. So when you have an attachment and you feel that I'm going to be less if I don't have that, I am going to be less, then you are starting from the wrong model. You are starting from the model that your happiness depends on something outside of yourself.
Okay, let's say you enjoy surfing and you enjoy being in the water so much.
Yes.
And you say, I love surfing and I love the beach.
Yes.
Is that love?
Oh, that's not love. I mean, that's just using the word love. No, no, that's just a way of speaking.
So what is that? It's not love. What is it?
No, it's I enjoy. I'm happy. It makes me happy to go surfing. Yeah.
So then so with my baby nephew, for example, like I love being with him and I love holding him. Is that love, or is it just the same, like I'm happy, like I enjoy him and I...
Well, you know, actually, yes, yes. So when we say I love surfing, yeah, it is love. I take it back. It is love. Because there are no conditions. I love surfing and I'm going to go surfing. And I prepare myself to go surfing, and now it's raining and there is a thunderstorm, so I'm not going to go surfing. Instead, I'm going to sit down and have some ice cream. So yeah, it is love. It is love. Yeah. So I love to play the piano. So I enjoy surfing, but if I surf, if it works out, it works out. If it doesn't work out, no problem. My happiness doesn't depend on it. That's the key thing.
Well, let's say you're passionate about surfing, and then your leg got, like, you needed your leg to be
Yes.
amputated.
Yes.
So then you're really sad because you can't go surfing.
Yes. Yes, I will be sad that I'm not going to go surfing. And I guess I will paint. Maybe I can get a wooden leg and maybe I will try painting. I don't know. Definitely not dancing. Yes, I will be sad. But sadness doesn't mean unhappiness. Sadness is not something I hold on to. I feel sad. But I sit down, I enjoy a cup of tea overlooking at the ocean and seeing other people surfing, and wow, I'm okay, all is well. There isn't unhappiness. There isn't unhappiness in love.
What's the difference between sadness and suffering?
In suffering, I'm experiencing that I'm limited, that I'm lacking, that things aren't going okay, aren't good, things aren't good. And the mind is spinning. Why did this happen? Why is this happening? Why is this happening to me? Why God didn't love me? In suffering, there is the sense of lack, the sense of separation, the sense of limitation. There is thoughts are spinning about me, the past, the future. In sadness, there is a certain is sadness, for example, about missing somebody. You had a good friend that you enjoyed a lot of good time with, or a member of your family, and somehow there is a memory of the happy times that you spent together. And so there is a sweetness to the sadness. But it doesn't go into, oh my God, why did this happen? What's going to happen to me now? Like my pet, I don't have my pet anymore, what's going to happen to me? And it doesn't spin that way. It's just, oh, yeah, I used to have a cat. I was very fond of this cat. You know, he was a little incapacitated. One of his legs, he didn't walk too good. And so when he couldn't, you know how the cats, they lick their fur, they clean their fur, but he couldn't reach. And so he would have these clumps. And so I would clean his clumps, you know. And he was always like, you know, very, very sweet, gentle cat. And I remember I'm having a sweet sadness now as we speak. One day he came home and he had like a really bad gash, you know, cut from maybe some other animal cut him. And he was not very strong to defend himself because he had incapacitated with his leg. So I remember I took him in my lap, and I took some cleaning, and I know it was painful and he clawed me, but he stayed, you know, and he was like, you know, as I was cleaning his wound. It was very, very touching moment for me to be with him this way. So in sadness, there isn't happiness because there isn't the thoughts about me spinning. It's just images, sweet images that are arising about your mother, your friend, your pet, whatever it is.
So whenever there's like the internal monologue about me and all of that, then that's suffering.
Yeah, in unhappiness, all the monologue about me. Why did this happen to me? When is this going to stop? Oh, I thought I didn't deserve this. And yeah. So it's a sense of me being the body mind. Me meaning I am now Amna. I am the body now. This person, this body mind. So that whenever there is identification with the body mind, we experience unhappiness. Whenever you look, you are unhappy and you look, you will find that it's about Amna, about the body mind. But you are not Amna, you are not the body mind. So that's the thing that you need to understand. Because the body mind is, you experience the body mind, you experience hunger, you experience thirst, you experience a sensation you experience sensations. Meaning you are the perceiver, you are the witness, you are that which perceives the body, you are not the body. You are the awareness. So you manage the body, you take care of the body, of course. If the body is tired, you take the body to bed. If the body is hungry, you feed the body. If the body feels like going for a walk or wants to be social, you call your friends, you invite them, whatever. You are the manager of the body. To be the manager of the body is different from being the body. There is no unhappiness in being the manager of the body. You manage your car, you manage your garden, whatever you manage. There is no unhappiness about managing the body mind. The unhappiness is about being the body mind, which is a falsehood. The body mind is mortal. So as soon as you are the body mind, you are now under the influence and the belief of mortality. And you are also under the belief of being limited, because all body minds are limited. So you moved from being awareness, which is effortless, which is God's gift to all of us. There is no better awareness here than over there. It's all the same awareness, formless. You move from being awareness, which is God-given. And now you have adopted the human model that, oh, I am a daughter, I'm a woman, I'm a whatever way you define yourself, I don't know. And that's an add-on. That's an add-on. It's a superimposition. You are superimposing upon the effortless presence, the reality of consciousness, you are superimposing a costume, a personality. You're saying, oh, the consciousness has a personality, which belongs to the body. The body has a personality. But when you superimpose it onto consciousness, now consciousness has become a woman. Go figure, right? Right? And it's prevalent throughout our society. Because it's so prevalent throughout our society, we feel it's normal. What is Mehdi talking about? It's mad. What's normal is you are the body. You are, this being, and you're going to die. Consciousness doesn't die. We have no problem. Who has a problem with the body dying? Only 7 billion people are identified with the body. That's way too many, way too much confusion. Yeah. Enjoy life, enjoy the freedom. Don't complicate it. It's okay, he wants this, she wants that, okay. Oh no, we're not going this way, we're going that way, okay. No, we're not going to go anywhere, okay. Be okay.
I'm gonna sit with, like, love is who we are. That's what I'm gonna sit with.
You're right. Love expresses itself in loving your nephew, loving surfing, yeah. And no conditions. Conditions are conditions. They're not love. They're conditions. It's okay. You want to have conditions? We have conditions. I'm only speak to you when you say, your honor. You're free to have conditions. You know what? The more conditions you place, the more disappointment you are going to find. Because people don't like conditions. Anyways, yes.
Thank you.
Yes, no. So, okay, very beautiful to be with you all. Thank you, Peter. Nice to see you, Peter. Hey, okay. And Holger, Amna, and hey, Kelly. Hola, Gloriana. And John.
Hola.
Zoe. All right, lovely to be with you. Thank you all. Okay.
Thank you.
Thank you.